Today, something happened that caught even them off guard. Your name came up unexpectedly in a conversation, and the reaction that followed revealed far more than they intended anyone to notice. At first, they attempted to keep everything controlled. They answered carefully, pretending your presence in their life carried no unusual weight. But the moment they began speaking about you, something in them shifted. Their eyes softened, their tone changed, and the calm mask they normally wear started slipping away without them realizing it. It became obvious to everyone around them that this was not the way someone talks about an ordinary person. There was emotion, hidden inside every word, the kind that quietly exposes feelings long before someone is ready to admit them aloud. Then came the moment that changed the atmosphere completely. They paused for a second and said there was something unforgettable about you, something they could never properly explain. The room grew silent after those words because everyone could hear the sincerity behind them. It was not simple appreciation or casual interest. It sounded personal, emotional, deeply rooted. The kind of confession that escapes when the heart has already become attached far beyond what logic intended. And once they started speaking honestly, it became harder for them to stop. They admitted you linger in their thoughts constantly, even after conversations end and distractions fill the day. Somehow, your energy remains with them in quiet moments, replaying in their mind without invitation. They spoke about the way your presence affects them, how even small interactions leave a lasting impact they struggle to shake. What they revealed today was not planned, but it exposed a truth they can no longer fully hide. Their feelings have grown stronger than their ability to conceal them, and the people around them noticed it immediately. Whether they intended it or not, their heart spoke for them today. Long after they try to focus on something else, they said, there is a strange peace they feel when they think of you, and a strange emptiness when they do not hear from you. That is not a passing crush. That is not surface-level attraction. That is someone whose soul has begun to build space for you inside it. And then, without realizing how vulnerable they sounded, they admitted this. No one feels like they do. Pause there. Read that again in your heart. Out of every person they have known, out of every conversation they have had, out of every connection they have tried to build, no one feels like you. Do you understand how rare that is? You are not just someone they like. You are becoming someone they cannot compare. Someone unforgettable. Someone irreplaceable. Stay till the end. Because this gets even deeper. When asked what makes you so special to them, they did not talk about appearance first. They did not mention anything shallow. They said, they have a heart that feels different. A heart that feels different. That was their answer. Not because they were trying to sound poetic, but because that is genuinely how they see you. They feel something in your spirit. They cannot explain logically. Something comforting. Something rare. Something almost impossible to replace. And then came the moment that changed the entire conversation. Someone asked them directly, "So do you love them?" Everything stopped. Their silence said more than words ever could, because sometimes the truth enters a room before the mouth can speak it. They did not answer immediately. They looked away. They smiled nervously, and then quietly, almost as if admitting it to themselves for the first time, they said, "I think I'm falling harder than I meant to." That was the truth, the real truth. The one they have been trying to manage, the one they have been trying to control, the one they have been pretending is smaller than it is. But today, their heart betrayed them. Today, their feelings became visible. Today, the mask slipped, and everyone around them saw it. Don't skip now, because there is one final thing they said that matters more than all the rest. When someone asked why they have not told you directly, they answered, because what if this is real? Do you hear the fear in that? They are not holding back because they feel nothing. They are holding back because they feel too much. Because real feelings make people cautious. Real emotions make people nervous. Real love makes people afraid to ruin something precious. So if they have seemed distant at times, confusing at times, quiet when you expected clarity, it may not be because they are uncertain about you. It may be because they are overwhelmed by how certain their heart has become. And that changes everything. Because someone who speaks about you like this in private, someone who lights up at your name, someone who admits no one else compares, someone who fears how real this has become, is not casually interested. They are emotionally invested. Deeply, beautifully, possibly more than you know. And after today's conversation, after everything they accidentally revealed, one thing became undeniable. Their heart is no longer hiding from the truth. It is only a matter of time before you see what they can no longer contain, because something huge is building beneath the surface, and this story is far from over. After that conversation ended, they did something no one expected. They went quiet. Not the kind of quiet that comes from having nothing to say, the kind of quiet that comes when someone realizes they may have just revealed too much. Stay till the end, because what happened next may be the clearest sign yet that their feelings for you are deeper than anyone knew. They walked away from that conversation, but they did not move on from it. Your name remained in their thoughts. Every word they spoke about you echoed back in their mind. Every truth they accidentally admitted began replaying inside them, and in that moment, they understood something they had been trying to avoid for a long time. Their feelings for you are no longer small, no longer manageable, no longer something they can pretend away. Don't skip, because this next part matters. Instead of distracting themselves, instead of moving on, instead of brushing it off like it meant nothing, they did the opposite. They thought about you more. After that conversation ended, they could not stop thinking about you. Memories kept returning to them in waves. Not just the obvious moments, but the tiny details most people overlook without a second thought. They remembered the sound of your voice during calm conversations, the energy you carried into a room without even trying, the subtle expressions that crossed your face when you were lost in thought. They recalled the quiet moments no one else would have considered important, yet those were the exact memories that stayed with them the longest. That is what happens when feelings become genuine. A person begins holding on to details the rest of the world forgets. Ordinary interactions suddenly carry emotional weight, and someone's presence starts leaving traces behind in ways that are impossible to explain logically. As these thoughts replayed in their mind, something inside them began to change completely. Speaking honestly about you earlier had opened a door they could no longer close again. Once emotions are spoken aloud, even indirectly, pretending becomes far more difficult. The heart starts demanding honesty, and denial slowly loses its power. Now they are facing questions they once avoided, because the answers feel too important to ignore. They are wondering whether you might actually be the person they have been searching for all along. They are questioning whether hesitation could cause them to lose someone who genuinely matters to them. And perhaps most painfully, they are afraid you may never fully realize how deeply they care. That fear has created an emotional urgency inside them that keeps growing stronger each day. People do not panic over losing someone unless that connection has already become meaningful beyond words. Something major is building beneath the surface now, because their emotions are no longer quiet feelings they can easily push aside. Deep down, they are finally beginning to admit the truth they spent so much time trying to outrun was even more powerful than what they told others. They realized they do not just enjoy talking to you, they do not just admire you, they do not just think you are special. They feel safe with you, and that is rare, in a world where most connections are surface level, where most people hide who they really are. They feel like they can breathe around you, like they do not have to pretend, like your presence quiets parts of them the world normally agitates. That kind of connection is not common. That kind of connection changes people, and it is changing them. Don't skip now, because this may be the part you needed to hear most. They are beginning to realize You are no longer just someone they care about. You are becoming someone they can imagine in their future. Yes, they have started thinking beyond the present, beyond casual moments, beyond temporary feelings. They are imagining possibilities with you they never planned to imagine, and that frightened them at first, because real feelings arrive quietly, then suddenly become impossible to ignore. What began as curiosity turned into attachment. What began as attraction turned into emotional depth. What began as interest turned into longing. And now, they are standing in the middle of emotions they can no longer control. Stay till the end, because one thought keeps haunting them above all others. It is this: what if they never know how much I feel? That question follows them, because no matter how composed they appear, no matter how calm they try to seem, there is a growing part of them that wants you to know, a growing part of them that wants to stop hiding, a growing part of them that wants to let the truth come out, but they are waiting, watching, trying to understand if the timing is right, trying to gather the courage, trying to decide if their heart is ready to risk everything for honesty, and when that moment comes, it may change everything between you, because the more someone suppresses real emotion, the stronger it becomes when finally released. Something huge is waiting for you, because this story is not slowing down, it is building. Their feelings are becoming too deep to hide, their heart is becoming too full to silence, and what they may do next could reveal everything. There is a sign they are about to make their feelings impossible to ignore, and once you notice it, you will never look at their actions the same way again. Stay till the end, because what is happening inside them right now is reaching a breaking point. Their emotions are no longer. Something inside them has started changing in a way they can no longer ignore. For a long time, they survived by avoiding their emotions, convincing themselves distance was safer than confronting what they truly felt. But recently, that mindset has begun to fall apart. Instead of running from these feelings, they have started trying to understand them, and that shift is transforming everything. Avoidance keeps people frozen, but understanding pushes them toward action. That movement has already begun quietly within them, and it is building into something much bigger than either of you may realize. More and more, they find themselves imagining what could happen if they finally stopped hiding behind silence. They replay possible conversations in their head, wondering what your reaction would be if they spoke honestly for the first time. Part of them feels excited by the thought of finally expressing what has lived inside their heart for so long, while another part feels terrified because vulnerability becomes dangerous when emotions are genuine. What they feel for you has moved beyond passing attraction or temporary fascination. You have become someone who enters their thoughts without invitation, without warning, without effort. In the middle of ordinary routines, your memory suddenly interrupts everything else. During late nights, quiet moments, or crowded days, their mind drifts back to you naturally, as though some emotional pull keeps drawing them there. And then came the realization that affected them more deeply than anything else so far. They realized they miss you even when there is no conflict, no separation, no reason at all. They miss your presence while surrounded by other people. They miss your energy in moments that should already feel complete. They miss hearing your voice when life becomes overwhelming and loud. That kind of longing does not come from simple curiosity. It comes from emotional connection settling into the deepest parts of someone's heart, until their world quietly begins feeling incomplete without you in it. They miss your presence even while trying to stay composed. That kind of missing only happens when someone has become deeply woven into the heart. Don't skip now, because the next sign may shock you. They have started changing. Yes, changing. Not because anyone asked them to, but because love naturally transforms people. They are thinking more carefully, feeling more deeply, reflecting more honestly, wanting to become the version of themselves that could truly deserve someone like you. Because when a person meets someone rare, they either run from it or rise toward it, and they are trying to rise. stay till the end, because the moment of truth is getting closer. Every day, they remain silent. The pressure builds. Every day they keep their feelings hidden. Their heart grows louder. Every day they pretend it is manageable. Their emotions prove otherwise. And sooner or later, the heart always reaches the point where silence hurts more than honesty. That moment is approaching. Fast. Because someone cannot carry feelings this deep forever without them showing. In words, in actions, in confessions, in choices. And when they finally reveal what has been building inside them, it may be more powerful than anything you expected. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the truth is no longer a possibility. It is becoming inevitable. They spoke beautifully about you today, but soon, words spoken in private may become feelings spoken directly to you, and when that happens, you will understand why they could never fully hide what their heart already knew. The moment they stop holding back may be closer than anyone realizes, because something inside them is reaching its limit. Stay till the end, because the next shift in this story may be the one that changes everything between you. They have tried to stay patient. They have tried to stay composed. They have tried to keep their emotions hidden behind silence, timing, and caution. But the heart can only stay quiet for so long when it knows what it wants, and their heart is beginning to want you too loudly to ignore. Don't skip, because this is where everything starts becoming undeniable. Lately, they have been replaying your interactions in their mind, not casually, not occasionally, constantly. They think about things you said days ago. They revisit small moments, begin to feel enormous, and then came the realization they could no longer escape. They do not just admire that feeling growing inside them, is no longer something they can quietly dismiss or explain away. Deep down, they are beginning to understand that these emotions are asking to be acknowledged, not hidden. The truth has been pressing against their silence for a long time, and now it feels closer than ever to finally breaking free. What makes this situation so meaningful is that they are not imagining opening their heart because they are confused. They are imagining it because certainty has slowly taken over where doubt once existed. Somewhere along the way, they realized what they feel for you is not ordinary, temporary, or easily replaced. It carries depth, significance, and the kind of emotional gravity that only appears rarely in a lifetime. That realization has changed the way they see everything. They know now that staying silent forever would eventually become the kind of regret that lingers for years. The thought of losing the opportunity to tell you how much you truly matter has started weighing heavily on them, and their heart is responding with growing urgency. Some connections arrive unexpectedly yet leave an impact so profound that the soul instinctively recognizes their importance. This is why the emotional distance between you has begun to feel unstable, as though it cannot remain this way much longer. The quiet tension, the unanswered emotions, the uncertainty surrounding this bond may soon give way to honesty neither of you fully anticipated. The person who once spoke about you carefully behind closed doors is slowly reaching the point where those same feelings may finally be spoken directly to you instead. And when that moment arrives, it is unlikely to feel small or forgettable. It may come with raw emotion, complete sincerity, and a level of vulnerability powerful enough to change everything between you. What has been building silently for so long is moving toward a moment that neither heart is likely to ever forget.